Hello and welcome to another episode of the Quantum Paradigm Podcast. I am extra excited about today's episode. If you are catching this live, you can see we have a very different setup today. I am in Florida. It has been a magical mystery tour down here with finishing up Sasha Stone's Catch Me If You Can tour. I caught the last two events and it was absolutely magical and wonderful. But my sister is here in Florida, so I have been visiting with her, and that's where we are today. And I asked her to come on to the podcast today because last night we had the most amazing conversation about quantum leaping, and we literally I witnessed her create a business in 10 minutes, and we were just free flow talking. Of course, we talk every day, but I'm going to let her tell more of that story. But I really want you guys to meet her. We're in her backyard by her favorite tree. You guys know that I have a relationship with my tree in my backyard. So my sister and I have these FaceTime powwows with our trees because we are absolutely witches, and we can sound wooey and all that, but also you guys know that I really dig deep into the science of things, and as more and more quantum physics becomes more mainstream, we understand that the vibration and the frequencies of these trees that we're talking about and we're looking all witchy with, it's absolute rock solid proven science that it heals the body and the soul. So there's just a little backstory there, but I'm gonna stop rambling and bring on my sister Abby. She's not just my blood sister, she is my soul sister. She is my oracle. I use that word very deliberately. She sees things for me, and I see a lot. But as one of my favorite mentors, Elizabeth Ralph, says, it's really hard to read the label from inside the jar. So when I'm having trouble reading the label from inside the jar, there's one person that I call, and that is my sister Abby, because she always sees it right away. She's a very gifted channel, a gifted medium, as psychic as I am. This runs in our bloodline, and it's just an honor to have her here today. We are going to have some background noise because we are outside, so please forgive that. I hope that this doesn't make editing a chore for my team. We're just going to put that in the field, that it's going to be easy. So, without further ado, here is Abby.
Hi.
Hey.
This is so fun.
Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, so we're going to talk today about how you quantum leaped your new soul-aligned business into existence in 10 minutes.
Okay.
So first I want to ask you, can you tell us a little bit more about, let's see. Okay, well, let me back up. I talk to a lot of people who are very eager to leave their 9-to-5 and transition into a more soul-aligned, soul-purpose business. They want to be living their energetic and spiritual purpose, but they also want to be well paid for this. And it can be a little scary for them sometimes. So that's really what we're talking about. So what is your 9-to-5?
My 9-to-5 is I'm a hairdresser. I've been doing that for 26 years almost, with a break in there to be a stay-at-home mom for 11 years. I still did hair at home. I, at one point, set up a shop in my home and did that for another 2-3 years. Moved to Florida, kind of took a back seat, and then got back into it full-fledged in 2018, 19.
Okay.
and then started kind of on my own right at in September of 2019.
Okay. So not only, I have to clarify something. Abby's the most gifted and talented hairstylist I've ever encountered. I live in Colorado, she lives in Florida, and I have been searching for 9 years how to replace Abby, and I've not been able to.
Can I say something real quick?
Yes.
So what's so weird is I think I have magical shears. Seriously. I have used the same pair that was gifted to me.
Are you shitting me?
I'm not, no.
Oh my God.
When I was in hair school, this is a cool story. I also was working at a salon in Louisville after I'd go to school. And this very sweet hairdresser that I just loved, her name is Kim Buckley. If you're out there, Kim, thank you. She had gone to a hair show. She got new shears, and she said, you're graduating. I would like to gift you this pair of shears. Well, all these years later, they're the only shears I've used.
Oh my God.
I had them sharpened, Allison. Listen to this. I had them sharpened maybe a year ago, and the guy said, "Where did you get these?" I've only seen maybe 10 of these in my 30-year career. And he said, "Do you even know what you have here?" And I said, "No, I really don't." And he said, "Well, let's just say that when whoever bought these paid the price of a small used car for them."
What?
And I asked him, I said, how much longer will these last me? And he said, probably 3 more careers.
Holy shit.
Yeah, they're the only shears I use.
Oh my God. So now that you've shared your secret sauce with us, that's incredible. Oh my God.
I know.
That's okay. So something came through with that. Because where I was going to go next is we all know that you're not just a hairstylist, and all of your clients know that. And I'm going to ask you to expound on that a little bit. But something that came through as you're telling that story is that the healers of the ancient world, the shaman, the medicine women, the medicine men, they all channeled things spiritually and energetically, but they all had tools in 3D. They have 3D tools.
Ooh.
Right?
Okay.
You see where I'm going with
yes,
this?
I do. It's exciting.
That's amazing. That's
wow.
Your shears are.
It was my little tool.
Yes, exactly. So anyway, you're not just a hairstylist. I feel like even though you are very gifted there, it's almost like it's your disguise. But what happens for your clients? Okay, what happens for your clients when they get in your chair? Just a real short.
Oh wow! I mean, they open.
They open.
They
up.
just open up. Not and all hairdressers will say the same thing,
Right.
but it's extraordinary in my chair.
So
I don't.
You're actually a spiritual guide. Of course we can't say that you're a therapist because
I don't have the letters.
You don't have the letters behind your name. However, all your clients know that they can come to you.
Yes.
So, all of that to say, that's the backstory, guys. But what I want to talk about is quantum leaping a business into existence, because Abby has been telling me for months, if not a couple of years, that she wants to transition into something other than hair. Not that that's going to stop, but she wants it to be more on the back burner. So last night, I'm just going to go straight into what happened.
Okay.
Last night we were sitting on her porch. Do you need to go get
why don't you explain that?
Okay.
Sorry, I'm going to step away.
Okay.
For 1 minute.
So we were sitting on Abby's porch last night. As we typically do this on the phone. I'm getting so behind the scenes with you guys. It's so much fun. We were sitting on the porch, and Abby had a question, because I was I was channeling, I was pulling cards, and we were just relaxing, and she could sense that it was a good time to ask a spiritually directed question and get a direct answer. So she asked me how to transition into a new business and what that would look like. So I talk with so many people who know that they are meant for more, and they are ready. They're ready to do something else other than the 9 to 5, but they're just not sure what. And it's confusing to people, and especially because it's like, how do I bring these gifts, these desires, really into the 3D? How do I bring it out of the 5D and into form? Right? That's literally what I help my clients to do. If they're at the beginning of their spiritual entrepreneurship, or whatever we want to call it. So that's kind of what Abby was grasping at last night, was, okay, what is this actually going to look like? What are the next steps? So that question was asked. We got kind of an answer. You were looking for, like, what am I going to be called? What's the label that's going to be put onto this? How are people going to understand what I do? Am I getting to the...
Yes, it just, for me, I've had this feeling of, it's not your typical, like, I'm not fulfilled in my job, but I'm bored. And I know I want to do more, but I don't know what the more is. And I kind of feel it. I feel something. It's very abstract. So that's where my questions came in.
Yeah, very abstract. Okay, so that's where we wanted to anchor it into something that the mind could conceptualize, something that people could understand when they hear it. So we asked the question. We got some kind of a helpful answer.
Kind of.
And you let it go, and then what happened about 10 minutes later?
It was like, I don't even, a light bulb moment doesn't.
It doesn't even.
It doesn't. I mean, that's
describe
like,
it.
That's just like, ooh, aha. This was a bolting out of my seat. Oh my God. This is it. I mean.
It was a direct download.
It was direct. And it was so fast with so much information. And it all kind of wrapped around, like, I started to see, like, even the past few years, like I was telling Allison, the same thing that I said is exactly what I wrote in a journal like 2 years ago. I want to become the next modern day Dear Abby.
Okay, so do you guys remember the column in the newspaper, 15 years ago or so?
Oh, I think it kind of left maybe somewhere in the 2000s. But
okay.
She was so iconic. Everybody
Abby.
read Dear Abby in
yes.
the paper.
When someone had a question, they needed some guidance. Who did they write to? They wrote Dear Abby,
yes.
And she would always answer these questions in the newspaper. I read Dear Abby growing up.
I did too.
Everybody did.
I did too.
So, yeah. So, becoming the next Dear Abby with a twist. Obviously, we're going to have to look into trademarking and copywriting and all of that. There's legal ways to go about this, but the essence of what you were after absolutely revealed itself. And then you kept getting more and more information.
Just more. I mean, like, when I asked the question,
mm-hmm.
I just literally said, oh, okay. Okay, whatever. And then the information came in, but then it became so detailed. And they were showing me, like, all these things that can happen quickly.
So I don't want to get into the details so much, and there's a reason for that with quantum manifestation. When something is coming through and it's really, really important, That's a new baby seedling. We can look, if we want to put a picture in our mind's eye to it, it's like a little baby seedling, and we really want to protect it energetically. So without getting into the details of exactly how that's going to look, you and I know how that's going to look.
Oh yeah, it's exciting.
But I really want to break down for the audience how this happened. So let's reverse engineer how this happened, because now you have basically all the details you need to build a business very quickly and very easily. And we already know that clients are going to pour in with this quantum business model. However, to reverse engineer and break this down, I feel like we could say step one was that you were open.
Well, I'm going to go back a little bit.
Okay.
A couple of weeks ago, it was like literally 2 weeks ago, I finally voiced that I'm bored.
Ooh.
It doesn't mean that I don't love my clients or love my colleagues or could do highlights all day. I mean, I love it. I love doing that, but I'm bored.
Okay.
And it's separate from the traditional, like, this is what I do, and you're supposed to love your job, because if you love your job, you never work a day in your life, right? Mm-hmm. And I don't want to do all the programming anymore. I don't want something more fulfilling for me necessarily, but yeah, it's something else. So I had to voice it first.
Voicing it out loud is a very important quantum principle. And I tell you guys this about human design, and I work with my clients about this behind the scenes, but the throat center in your human design chart, whether it's defined or undefined, no matter what's going on with your throat center in your chart, it is your manifestation place. It is the center of manifestation. So something happened in the quantum field when Abby voiced out loud that she was bored.
Do you mean kind of like when God spoke and spoke the world into existence and created?
Yeah, creation is directly linked to the channel of manifestation
And vibration and
vibration
sound.
and sound.
And behind all of that is also your intention.
Absolutely.
So that is so important to start with.
That's a really good clarifying point, because when you voiced the fact that you were bored, you were not complaining.
No, not at all.
You were acknowledging with intent that you were ready for something else.
New. Something, not even something new. It could be, who knows?
Yeah. Okay, so step one, voicing where you were with an intention to move beyond that.
Yes, it's that simple.
Okay. So step two, maybe then, was being open to receiving whatever that was, but not being attached to whatever that was. It's not like it had to come in a certain way. It had to look a certain way. It had to be something. Elizabeth Ralph does talk about this with money manifestation as well. That's just a side note. However, being open is what I would call step two. That's where you were asking the question last night on the porch, was from a place of openness.
Yeah, because it felt like I don't know what I want to do per se. It's not like, I think I'm going to go back to school. I think I'm going to do A, B, C. Mm-hmm. It's like, I'm going to do something else. What is it? Mm-hmm. What is it? And it literally, I just was like, it's going to be whatever. Mm-hmm. So, openness, yeah.
Okay. Openness and detachment.
Yeah.
True, total detachment. Right?
Yes.
Okay.
Because I simply just didn't care. Like, whatever it is, like, to show me.
Okay. And then, so I'm trying to formulate language around step three. I think step three is willingness to take action.
I think step three is what it means to surrender. And
Ooh.
I really like to connect with people with a lot of the same beliefs we have, but it looks different. So in that regard, I surrendered to God. I surrendered to whatever is for me and how it's going to help people. Just to translate to other people, we're talking the same language.
Okay. So surrender.
Surrender.
Okay. And I do think the willingness to take action. And then, of course, after today or whenever it is, the actual taking action. That's where there's so many places in this step-by-step process to quantum leaping something into existence that people get stuck, and they can get stuck for years. And you can get stuck at any one of these intersections, but you don't have to. So if you feel sticky or stuck around any of these steps, I invite you to look into, okay, where's the fear and what is that about? And then working with that. And I do have tools to help people through that. I have the Alchemize method, where we look at the lower frequency and we literally bring it closer and alchemize it from the inside out. This is what opens the quantum manifestation channel, because if we try to turn a blind eye to any part of our shadow, any part of our fear, we're just going to actually get sucked deeper into it and stay stuck for longer. All that to say, next for you, I believe, will be the actual taking action. And it's so easy because you did get all the details and we're not going to go into that on the podcast, but now it's almost like all you have to do is show up.
Yeah, I just had a little
okay.
And it eliminate when you are, how do I say, when you know what you're doing here with this quantum field and how your words and your thoughts and everything, how you manifest and bring into existence so much, when you're that open and you get to the place of surrender, you really don't have to ask the how. How
right.
does this happen?
Right.
Where do I start?
Thank you.
Because once you have the information and you see the vision, you're like, oh, really? The universe rolls out the red carpet and brings you.
Yes.
Brings the opportunities, and then you're going to meet someone who is connected to something like that, or gets your name out there, or something. I mean, it just comes to you, but you have to say yes. You have to acknowledge first. You have to surrender. You have to be open to the whatever.
Yeah.
And then it just comes, and all you have to do is step into it and show up, just like she said.
And this applies to business creation, like we just discussed. I mean, let's compare this and contrast this to the old paradigm for 1 second here. The old paradigm says you would have to, it's time to write up a business plan, Abby.
Yes.
And you have to apply with the Small Business Association of your county, and you have to do this, and you have to do that, and you have to That's gonna deter 99% of people. Because then you feel like you need to go get a degree in business, for God's sake.
And I've been resisting that for so many years.
Right.
How many times have I toyed with going back to school and looking at not because I don't want to do hair. You know what it was? It was a fear of income.
Ooh.
It was a fear of income because my industry is so unstable. It's feast or famine. Mm. It's exhausting. Mm-hmm. And us hairdressers, we pay to work. We are small businesses. We have to invest in product and rent and all these things. We don't get vacations. We don't get anything. We get the joy of bonding with our clients. That's really what it comes down to. It's not about money. And I forgot where I was going with this.
That's okay. You were channeling, because that's exactly where I was about to go. You can apply these quantum reverse engineered steps to creating your business in literally 10 minutes, but you can also apply it to money manifestation. And we are bumping up against time, but if this is something that you desire deeper help with, there are so many ways to work with me at this point. You can choose to get your human design reading done. You can go through the Unleash Your Inner Magician 22-day manifestation challenge. That's something that I highly recommend. It's only 10 minutes a day for 22 days. You actually get the weekends off, but this will reveal anything that needs to be kind of cleaned out energetically, and it's all built around your unique human design chart. So although these principles do apply to everyone, you can get even more specific, so it's more potent and applicable to you. So anyway, if the income is a scary factor for you, then you need to learn to heal that relationship with money energy so that you can just bring it in and support this greater mission that your soul is calling you to. Let's see, anything else, Abby, that you feel is important to share with anyone listening? Is there anything that I didn't ask you that you wish I would have asked?
No, but no, not in that regard. But I don't know, I just kind of felt a little something here. My whole life, I've heard, like, the oddest things happen to you. Only that would happen to you, Abby. Like, you know, like, I've always been perceived as this, like, the coolest, most random things happen. And looking back, I'm like, oh, I've been doing this my whole life.
Yeah.
Now, in my adulthood, it has been about seriously detaching from old mindsets that have been ingrained from birth, through school, through church, through program, just what you're supposed to do as a human. I've had to really detach from all of that, and now I get to create whatever I want.
Yes,
I get to. And it's easy. Like figuring out the next steps of how to go about this whole new Dear Abby thing. I'm not worried. Let go of fear. I'm not worried. It just will come to me. I will know what to do.
Oh God, I'm so excited. And as this takes shape, I will be sharing this with you guys so that if you have a Dear Abby question, you'll know exactly how to get it answered.
Yes.
We know that we could sit here and talk
forever.
Ever. We talk about
forever.
Yes, forever. We talk 17 times a day on the phone when we're not in the same state together. But we're not going to do that to you guys. This has been probably the most fun episode I've ever done. And you guys are getting a really up close, personal, behind the scenes look of what the dynamic looks like, you know, between me and one of my favorite people on the planet, who I'm really grateful. Like, I'm very, very grateful for your energy, your knowing, your guidance.
Oh my gosh.
And as I tell you every day, I couldn't do this without you.
Alice and I couldn't do it without you. And we say that we're twins, but we're 9 years apart.
Yeah.
Like, I've always, you were my first baby sister.
I know.
She was my first younger sibling.
I know. Anyway, I love you so much. Thank you for being here. Thanks, guys. And I will see you next week for another episode of the Quantum Paradigm Podcast.
So happy to meet you guys.
All right. Much love. Bye.